How does Kendrick Lamar start his albums? I was taking a walk the other day. Sun was shining on my warm brown skin. I heard the ice cream truck come along. And then I was shot. Pop!
Welcome back to Are We Recording? It is episode 7 of season 3. The new and improved Are We Recording is back. But it's your favorite co-host, as always, the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton. And I'm 007 Gage Sutton. Thank y'all for joining us again. And today we are filming in San Antonio, Texas, as Ethan has come down for the weekend and decided to get some recording done, but also some extracurriculars being done in San Marcos earlier this week.
Always extracurriculars with me, man.
Yeah,
always.
And some people might misinterpret that. We had someone misinterpret extracurricular activity as sexual.
As extracurricular activities.
That is not the case.
Never. I would never indulge
We are
in such
God-loving.
God-fearing.
God-fearing.
Men, I would never indulge in extracurricular activities before marriage.
Right. Well, anyway, I'm glad we're doing this in person again, man. I'm glad that you got to stay an extra day. Had some fun this weekend, and overall, man, I just feel like I miss San Marcos so much. I feel like we talk about
this. We do this
on the
every
podcast
single time we go to San Marcos and come back, bro. San Mo's our home, man. Sadly, is our home. All the places in the world, San Marcos is gonna be our home. But I'm glad I was down there for the weekend, man. Got to see everybody. Next time I'm coming down, it's gonna be before graduation for those who are our listeners in San Mo. You'll see me down there, graduation for Texas State. So if you see me or Gage, let us know what's up. But honestly, man, felt good to be back. Felt good to see everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I just feel like you come down way more often than I thought this was gonna happen. So we've gotten to do a couple, and I went to Dallas earlier.
I haven't been down in a minute. The last time I come down was
Well, how many in-person episodes have we done already for this podcast? I guess for this season. Is this our second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Episode 1 with my pops was the first one.
Oh, hey, there might be a similarity between that episode and this one.
Maybe
you might have to stick around and find out.
Yep, or scroll in the timestamps to see.
Thanks, Dylan. Shout out Dylan on the podcast last week. But I want to do more of these. I feel like the in-person ones, like even though the set isn't perfect. Oh, I don't know if you see my WWE belt up there.
Oh God.
Yeah, you're clearly in my room. But yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. So what did you do with the guys? Because I know I was in San Marcos this weekend too, or I guess this past weekend. But I was in town going to work because the Spurs were playing in Austin.
Yeah.
So what were you doing during I guess these times? I was driving up to Austin on that Saturday.
No, what I was doing this weekend was pretty chill. I'm not gonna lie, nothing too hectic. For the most part, on Friday, all the guys were there, and luckily we didn't have to work on Friday. So Friday I came down, got my braids redone. Somebody said I look like A$AP Rocky again.
Brent Faiyaz.
I get a lot. My player comps are insane.
Where are my player comps?
What are your player comps? You love the Travis Kelce player comp. If he was like maybe a foot taller, you could get the Travis Kelce player comp.
I don't mind that.
Y'all two have y'all love y'all some black girls. I'll tell you what.
You're not lying.
You two love y'all black girls. I'll tell you that. But it was pretty chill. Friday, all the guys for the most part in town went out to the square. Did the usual, not the usual anymore, but, well, it really is the usual, because that's what happens every time I come to San Mo, is get belligerently inebriated.
I feel like it's become the usual for the guys who are living in San Marcos. It's like, hey, we're going to the square this weekend.
Yeah, but it's nice because I don't drink that much just in general, so whenever I do get to go down to San Mo and drink, it's always good, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel that.
We always do it safe, of course, but it's us, you know what I mean? We always go balls to the fucking walls.
Yeah, definitely. And
especially when there's more than 5 of us in one place.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll have one of the guys on in future episodes to talk about what happened this past weekend. There's definitely some stories to talk about, but we got to bring some witnesses because,
nobody's going to believe it.
No one's going to believe us, yeah.
Because I've been called a habitual liar plenty.
You've been called a lot of things by our friends.
A liar. So many things by my friend. Nobody ever believes me, so I'm a martyr, if you ask me.
A martyr. By the way, if you see us kind of peek up from this area every once in a while, we're watching the NBA play-in game. We're recording this on Tuesday.
Doing some research, as we do, because as you know, we're very well informed men, and every single one of our topics that we do,
single one,
we like to do hours of prep on everything before we talk about it.
Hours
on end.
We don't ever think about.
We don't ever sleep. Yeah, all we do is study, watch film. But nah, man, it was good to come down to Samuel, and now I'm in San Antonio with you for the beginning of the week. But yeah, man, I think we should get this show rocking. Yeah,
let's get into it. One thing that I got to do a lot of this weekend is go to the movies, and I start with the first movie. I'm sure we can get through it pretty quickly. Dungeons and Dragons. Did you watch that movie?
Yeah, I saw it like last week.
Okay. As you guys know, I am a total nerd.
I be forgetting you love Dungeons and
Dragons. I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Just actually participating in D&D.
Yeah. So have you ever actually played D&D?
No.
Dude, it's a blast. When you're playing with the right people, it's better than a board game, than a regular board game. But you have to be playing with the right people, because there are some people who take D&D way too seriously, but like with the right group of people, it's a fun game. And the movie was like a cool introduction of the game into the mainstream. I guess a re-entry into the mainstream.
Yeah.
So, overall I thought it was a cool movie. But I wanted to start with movies because, man, there's just so many good movies out right now. And the one that you and me just saw, Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, honestly, I thought this movie was going to be like... I'm very good at telling if movies are good based on trailers, because that is like one of my best talents. I've been duped. Not with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but just in general in the past. But I had a suspicion ever since like the success of like Sonic, and just more video games being adapted into like television or like movies, like with Last of Us or so, that I thought Super Mario was gonna be cool. And I watched it, man. That was a good movie. It was a fun movie. They definitely like. I felt like they could have done a little bit more with the actual story element of it. Like, it was a solid movie, but you're not gonna go in there and see like one of the better animation movies. It's very average as far as storytelling goes. But if you're into Mario and you're into like the big nostalgia, they definitely did have like hundreds of Easter eggs of like Mario games. Every single Mario game you could think of. So
yeah, and
spoiler alert for the Super Mario movie before we start going.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not gonna give you any crazy spoilers, but just click ahead if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I think the one thing I loved about the movie is the world building. Like, it just made everything look so beautiful, and like, there's a scene where they're traveling to Donkey Kong Land. Mm-hmm. And they're going through like all the different environments of Mario and the games, and that was really cool. And I was really pleased with how aesthetically pleasing the movie looked. All the characters looked awesome, and yeah, man, I was just really impressed, especially from an Illumination movie.
Yeah,
same studio that brought you Despicable Me.
Yeah. No, it was cool. I liked it. I would have wished we maybe would have got a little bit more into the lore of like Mario. Maybe got into some Rosalina. What's Peach's other Daisy? I wish we got some Daisy, maybe some Waluigi, Wario, even Yoshi. But who knows? Maybe for a second movie, that's probably like the route they'll go.
That's definitely the way they're gonna go. I think, because with the success of this movie, definitely. I think it's almost inevitable they're gonna make a second one.
Yeah.
And not only are they gonna make a second one, I feel like you and me have talked about this, and I mean, you just mentioned it with The Last of Us, with Sonic, with Uncharted got a movie too.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot Uncharted.
The Uncharted movie was bad, though.
It was bad. The thing with Uncharted is that, like, it's already a movie in the sense of, like, Uncharted didn't need a movie. Yeah. They really didn't need a movie.
Yeah. And I think Uncharted is probably one of those things that would be better as a show. Because I
feel like Uncharted would have been better as a show too.
Just because like it's so detailed, and we saw that with The Last of Us. Like I feel like The Last of Us really had time to go into all of their details and really stay true to like what the game was.
And they even got like wiggle room too with a lot of the characters that they got to expand on, like the doctor, him being like a spoiler for The Last of Us, like him being like a teacher, but also being sort of like a guy that likes kitties, like that like addition to the character in the show made it all the more reason for you to hate him, which I thought was a good addition because it wasn't in the video games.
Yeah, and I think those are some of the things, like, these are the kind of games that are going to need shows, but there are movies, or I guess video games, that can get some movie adaptations, and it's worked all right. What did you think of this live action Sonic movie?
The live action, I really liked it.
Yeah, like I've actually never seen them.
You haven't seen them? You should definitely check them out.
Yeah,
they're definitely, like I said, Mario is pretty cool, but I think the Sonic ones are probably better.
Okay.
Like just them keeping it in the world of, I guess the real world kind of made it easier. But don't get me wrong, Mario did its thing, and they're very different movies, but I think Sonic was probably a little bit better. But then I have the question to you and the listeners here is, with the success of Sonic, Uncharted, and The Last of Us, like, if you had to see any video game turn into a movie, TV show next, what would it be?
That's tough. Give me a second to think about it, because I feel like you already have one kind of already, like, in the chamber, so I want to hear what you have in mind.
For me, I think the easiest thing that would be a smash, Red Dead Redemption 2 into a TV show would be amazing. Like, give HBO, they would cook with that. Oh my gosh.
Man, I might get cooked for this, but I think I've told you this. I wasn't a big fan of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh my! I don't know how you are. Red Dead is one of the best. I like it better than Last of Us 2. Red Dead 2 is so good, and if they turn it into a TV show, they would smoke that. HBO would smoke that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm with you. I think the Red Dead Redemption show would work, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the show, or the game. But man, I really like the first Red Dead Redemption. You don't think they could, like, start with that one and then move?
No, they gotta start with the second one.
They gotta start with the second
one. I think like I said, they could do it. They could start with the first Red Dead, but I think that they would lean towards more like the Last of Us style. Just start from the beginning.
Yeah,
and go up.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, I guess for mine, man, there are a lot. There are 3 games that kind of came to mind, and I think I'm gonna go with the one that hasn't gotten a true adaptation. A game series that I used to love is Assassin's Creed, and I feel like there have been movies and stuff made for the Assassin's Creed. None of them have been really good, though. I'm gonna go with PlayStation exclusive Infamous.
Okay, I'm not mad. That's a good pick.
I think an Infamous TV show would be pretty interesting, pretty cool, and like it would kind of leave people on their feet, because the whole game you get to decide whether you're a good guy or a bad guy. So maybe in the show they leave it up to, like, the writing of, like, oh, is he gonna be a good guy or is he gonna be?
What if they do sort of like you remember when Netflix did the Bandersnatch for
where you could watch, like, all the episodes and, like.
Oh no, that would be cool too. Like, sort of like that. What was the name of the show? We're so terrible at names of show.
I know,
but I'm talking about what's it called? Black Mirror. Was it Black Mirror Bandersnatch, where you could choose the actions of the character on the TV show?
Oh, that's crazy! I did not know that.
Yeah. What if they pulled a Bandersnatch with
Infamous? That would be really cool. Hey, if you're at Sony and you're listening to this, hire me and Ethan.
Give us money.
Yeah. We'll help you write this thing.
That's a good pick, though. Infinite would be a very good pick.
Yeah, Infamous is really fun. I'm trying to think what other. Oh man, I'm looking actually right at some of the games I have right there. Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead would be live.
With those crazy zombies, man. Like the Witch, man. That thing used to scare me. Play on that 360.
Oh, I forgot they did The Witcher into a show, and that show.
Oh, that's right, The Witcher.
That's another one we forgot.
Yeah,
that we started off okay, and it's kind of taking a nosedive. Like I was watching The Witcher, and the last season of The Witcher is not very good.
Interesting. So I've never played The Witcher, and I've never seen the show.
I've played The Witcher. The Witcher is one of the better video games I've played. Yeah. The Witcher 3 is probably the best one. But yeah, honestly, those are pretty some. I give it like 2 years. They finished snatch our ideas. I'm trying to think of some nostalgic ones too that would work. Like in the same vein of like
Mario. Hey, have we gotten like a?
Oh, we got Mortal Kombat too. The last Mortal Kombat was solid.
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
Let me throw one out there. Another animated one, because I feel like Nintendo nailed it with the Super Mario one.
I know what you're gonna say.
Legend of Zelda. How are we not talked about a Legend of Zelda show or a movie? Like I think that would be done so well. I think you could do the Ganondorf Link Just storyline so easily, and I don't know. I think it would work, and that's ultimate nostalgia. Like, I don't think it goes any more nostalgia than that.
I'm not mad at that. Pokemon's another one, but I don't think it deserves to be. It already has TV shows. Like,
yeah,
you're right. I'm tripping. Pokemon already has it just finished actually. Yeah, Pokemon TV show finally just finished. Ash.
He beat Trainer Red.
Yeah, he finally did it.
He finally beat Trainer Red.
So I guess Pokemon wouldn't count, but those are some good choices we had. I'm not mad at that.
I think so too. I think that's I think the video game movie sentiment has changed a lot over the years, because I remember
we used to have bad ones.
It used to be really bad, and people were like, "Please stop making games into movies. Stop making them into TV shows." But lately, I think people are just getting so tired of sequels and reboots that they want to see something new.
But even video games turning into TV shows and movies, that's basically reboots.
It is, yeah, it is. But I mean, I think telling the story in a different way, like this Super Mario movie, the spoiler alert, like we talked about, it's not. It doesn't come from like the original source content, because it was like. The original game or whatever is just Peach getting abducted by Bowser, and there really is no explanation as to like where Mario and Luigi are from, and Luigi doesn't get kidnapped or anything. But that's the whole plot of this movie. So like, I think you could do that with a lot of these games that don't have like true linear plots. You could just grab the characters and put them in stories that you make your own. Kind of the case with Super Mario Brothers.
I'm not mad at that. But I think, speaking for everybody, like if they're gonna do video games, cool. I'd rather more video game movies than like Disney live action remakes.
Oh, for sure. I'm so tired of the live action remakes, man.
Like, aren't they doing a
the Lilo and I heard they're doing a Lilo and Stitch one.
They're doing a Moana one.
Why are they doing a Moana one?
They already filmed it with The Rock.
Why though? That movie came out like 6 years ago. It hasn't even been that long.
That's one thing I really hate, is just like, I guess the disrespect towards. I'm a big animation buff, like, as you know, and as the viewers know, like, I just hate turning it into live action, bro. Just live in that medium, man. Explore that medium. Invest in that medium, rather than continuing to just ditch it for live action. I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, animation is definitely one of the genres of media that speaks to me most. Yeah. So I'm with you. I think when animation movies are done right, they can be some of the best movies. And I've spoke at lengths about how much I love Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, and so excited for the new one. Mm-hmm. And I think that movie was kind of like the renaissance, hopefully, for animated movies. And I hope that, I don't know, we start to appreciate them a little bit more. Even in at the Academy Awards, has an animated movie ever won Best Picture? And why do we discriminate it from live action movies that maybe don't even have as good a plot as an animated movie?
No, you're right, because there's definitely some animated movies that deserve. I think maybe the closest one was Toy Story 3.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Toy Story 3 was the only one, but I think there's definitely been some contenders for sure. But I feel like we should. I think I know a guy that we could save for another episode, maybe later on this season, if y'all like this animation type talk, that we could have on.
Yeah.
But,
well, I think that's going to be it for our movie segment. If you guys want to hear us talk more about movies, or you like seeing movie content, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Dylan and Xavier put out some awesome movie reviews every week. And yeah, now we can move on to the next segment.
Yeah, but which makes sense, because I think our viewers and listeners, they've been needing some advice. So
it's time for some fatherly advice with the segment we like to call "You Can Always Bet on Fatherhood." Thanks, Drake.
You bet on fatherhood a lot? You can always bet on fatherhood.
Welcome back to You Can Always Bet on Fatherhood. And today we are joined by the man who is responsible for the living being of me and Dylan. And also, if
is that a good or bad thing?
I don't know.
Situation.
I guess you can answer that.
Depends on the situation.
And then if you watched our last week's episode, he's also the reason why me and Dylan are unhealthily obsessed with pro wrestling. Give it up for Mr. Keith Sutton.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining
the show, Dad.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me.
So, Dad, I don't know if we've told you about this segment. We did this earlier on in the season with Ethan's dad.
I saw it with Ethan's dad.
Okay. Big Mike.
Big Mike, yeah. Big Mike.
Big Mike nailed this. Okay. So we have some responses that some of our viewers left, and basically you're just going to give your advice on what you would do in these situations.
Because they're going through a rough time, right? And not a lot of them have fathers in their life.
Yeah.
And whether or not that impacts their behavior, you don't want to hear me ask. But we want to give you your thoughts. We want you to give some fatherly advice that you give me, Gage, and Dylan, maybe to the audience.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. So our first question comes from Jackoff in Jacksonville.
Hold on, Jackoff?
Yes. We have to remain anonymous.
Gotcha.
Jackoff in Jacksonville says, I think my ex-roommate might be gay. How do I let him know he's in a safe space?
Wow. Y'all don't hold anything back right away, do you?
No, these... I know some of our viewers, and if you are Jackoff in Jacksonville...
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I'll let Keith handle this.
Okay. So...
Let's see how he navigates this one.
I would just go and... excuse me. I would just go and tell him, hey, I know how you must feel. And so I'm going to just tell you everything's all right. I accept you the way you are. And nobody likes it. Fuck them.
Hey, that's a great advice.
That's a great advice. Yeah. Hey, that's a great start to this. So if you're listening to this, Jackoff in Jacksonville, accept your roommate for who ex-roommate for who he is. And also, don't jump to conclusions.
What would you do, Gage?
I would tell Jackoff in Jacksonville to fuck off.
You would?
Touch you.
That's very okay. That's very direct. It's personal.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know who Jackoff in Jacksonville is my ex roommate. So obviously this was directed towards me.
Gotcha.
But anyway, we can move on. I think we've addressed this one enough. I think we've got another good one here. So right. Our next one is from Left Undelivered in Delaware, who says, I love Ice Spice, a celebrity rapper.
Pops, you know who Ice Spice is?
Do you know who Ice Spice is?
I don't know.
I got you. We're going to show Pops who Ice Spice is, man. While Gage continues to talk.
I'm pretty familiar with most of you guys. Stuff,
okay. So Ice, he says, I have a crush on Ice Spice, and if I were to see her in public, what would you say to like your celebrity crush?
Well,
it's the best way to approach them.
And
if we can show you a picture of her, maybe
that's Ice Spice, Pops.
Okay.
Pops knows ball.
Hey.
Yeah, okay.
Pops knows ball.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I don't blame him, right?
Yeah. So Pops, right? If you're left undelivered and you see her in public, how would you approach Ice Spice? How would you play it cool if you saw her?
I would just go up to her and say, "Hey, how you doing? I want to let you know that I think you're very attractive.
Yeah.
And would you like to get a drink?"
Pops knows ball. Hey, that's ball. I mean, Big Mike said just to buy the girl the drink, but I think
we have to educate him on the cost of drinks nowadays.
Oh yeah.
The approach is you have to go talk to her first.
Yeah,
right?
you go talk to her first, and then if you're gonna get shut down, it's best to get shut down before you spend any money on her.
So do you think it would help me or help Left Undelivered if he went up to her and asked her, "Do you like munches?"
Do you like munches? Do I think I know what munches are?
Okay, we can move on. I mean,
so, okay. If you wanted me to figure that out, we could go into that, but I don't.
I think you can use context clues and guess what a munch is.
Okay. All right.
I think you got it.
Okay, awesome. I think that's a great question. So thank you to Left Undelivered in Delaware for leaving us that one. And we've got one more for you before we let you go,
all right,
Dad. But this next one comes from Dead Body in Detroit.
The names of these people get worse and worse.
So Dead Body in Detroit says, I took 3 edibles as I'm typing this, and I'm getting ready to hit the streets for some drinking with friends. Send help? ?
I don't know if that's more advice more than like a call for help.
Yeah. So I guess for the sake of this segment, if you feel that you are very intoxicated out with your friends, and you are just not in a good headspace, what do you do? What's your approach? Do you tell your friends? What would you do in this situation?
Do you continue to talk to women and maybe worsen your relationship?
No, just stay clear of women at that point. Well, I think if you're with friends that are your brothers, that you consider your brothers, that they'll take care of you. At least they're supposed to. And if they don't, then then you sort of know who your friends are. Obviously,
I don't feel like that's fair though, because I feel like I'm the type of friend that if I see you get very, very belligerent, not crazy belligerent, but like
I understand what you're saying.
To the belligerent of like, if you're just embarrassing yourself,
yes,
I'm gonna let you rock out for
there is your own
levels.
Yeah, your own levels that you have to control too. So if they got too wasted, then you're gonna talk to them and say, hey, let's bring it down a little bit, and if they tell you to fuck off, then you say, okay, it's on you. It's on you now.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But hypothetically,
in a world of unicorns and dragons, where this happens,
if Dead Body in Detroit is way past that limit
where he's shuffling his feet, so to speak,
dead on stairs,
asleep on the stairs,
just like had to tap out an hour early. So wait by the buses, hypothetically.
It sounds like a story I've heard before.
And there's I don't think you've heard this story.
This is Dead Body in Detroit. There's no anonymous.
It may have been a story that I may have heard of or been involved in.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I'm sorry. What were you at? So what did they asking? I'm sorry.
I think they just need help.
They just need help.
I think they're cooked. If you ask me, I think they're cooked. I think if they're lucky enough to get one of their friends to just stand by them, I would stand by them and not lose them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would hope that like I said again, that you would stay close to those people that But again, if they're that far off, then I don't know. You might have to put them in an Uber and send their asses home.
Just get them home a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's not bad.
Obviously.
Is anyone going to spend money on Dead Body in Detroit to get an Uber? I don't think so. Unless he's got some really rich friends.
Yeah. I'm not against buying. My whole thing with an Uber is like, I've done it before. Like I bought Ubers for friends. Whenever like they've been too drunk and I know they've driven there, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna slide you 15. I'm gonna get my 15 back one way or another. I'm getting mine. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Correct.
But I've always not been like afraid to just be like, all right, I'll cough out the 15, 20. As long I'll put you in the Uber. I'll even slide. Like if you get in the Uber and I figure out that you made it home safe and you did not throw up in the Uber, I'll slide. I'll even tip for you. Like I'll tip another $5 to the Uber driver. Like thank you.
That's a good idea.
But all I ask is you don't throw up in the Uber. That's all I ask.
That's true.
Because that's the worst. Like I've been DD. Like before I was 21, I had to DD the guys like from the square. Dad made it very clear to them. If somebody throws up in my car,
you're paying for it.
This is getting detailed. I swear to you. I've seen people throw up in a car that I've been, and it's not been my car. And I'm like, if I was the person driving right now, I'd be losing my mind. Like, at the very least, hold your head out the window. Because
that shit stays in the car. Trust me.
I know a story about someone throwing up in your car. But that's a long.
We're not federal agents.
That's another time.
Story,
that's another story
time.
For another time.
Yeah.
But Dad, thanks for joining the show.
I appreciate you guys.
Before we let you go, just some final fatherly advice that you want to give to any of our viewers. Just a general statement.
I would tell, like, especially you young guys, just keep plugging away, work at yourself every day, and don't care what anybody thinks about you, says about you, and work for you and only you. That's it.
Yes, sir, man.
Hey, we're doing the claps, snaps, all of it.
Come on, Bob's good, man.
All right, well, always bet on fatherhood. What would you think of the segment, Dad? Do you think this is?
I love it. Yeah, I like to say this.
We're changing lives here. As you can tell,
we're touching
the people all over.
We're touching people all over.
Okay, cut that. Cut that, Dylan. That was our segment. You can always bet on fatherhood with my dad.
Again, Papa Sutton, man.
Papa Sutton, thank you for joining the pod. Now, if you like that, go check out the first episode. Did it with Big Mike, Ethan's dad, and I think we got some solid advice in both episodes, man. Changing the world,
changing young women and men's lives, man.
Yep.
Some of you women need to listen to Papa Sutton, man. Y'all don't be listening.
Yeah, y'all are hearing him, but you're not listening.
You're hearing him, but you're not listening.
Anyway, not to derail the conversation back to wrestling, because I feel like we talked about wrestling for 20 minutes last week, and if you sat through all of that, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you.
You made Gage's life.
You made my life. I that's all I want to do. I just want to make a living talking about wrestling and sports in general. But I think this kind of goes into the pop culture sphere, just because he's such a megastar right now. Logan Paul recently re-signed with the WWE, and he posted a picture with him and Mr. Paul Levesque, otherwise known as Triple H.
Why you call him Paul Levesque? You don't know him.
With that man.
Boo this nigga.
Yo, who mans is this?
Boing,
Get
boing,
off
boing,
of
boing,
his
boing, boing.
meat.
Well, that's like his real name.
Yeah, but you don't know him. It's like me calling Drake Aubrey Graham.
No, but that's like different, because
No,
he's
it's
not like
not.
Triple H anymore. He's
he's
like
still
he's
Triple-
backstage.
that's-
His name is Paul Levesque.
No, that's Triple H. You call him as he's addressed.
Regardless, Triple Paul. I guess that is. Can we call him
No,
that? Triple
just
Paul.
call him Triple H.
Okay, Triple H and Logan Paul. It's really funny because when Logan signed about a year ago, he took a picture with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and was wearing a blue jacket and had a blue bottle of what's the name of his drink?
Prime
drink.
You know the name. Why you hate that man so much?
I actually forgot the name of it. I swear to God. And you know how I feel about Logan Paul. So
brother.
regardless, I've made it clear. I think he's a great wrestler. I'm glad that if this is the case that he's coming back, cool. I'm glad to hear it. I want to see him take it seriously. But the internet is up in flames right now because when he announced it, he posted a picture, the same picture of him with Triple H, and it was photoshopped where Stephanie was out of the photo and Logan was wearing a yellow jacket with a yellow Prime bottle, and then went on to say that, oh yeah, that photo isn't photoshopped.
I like when you double down on a lie. That's my favorite thing. Is everybody knows you're gonna lie. Like, fuck it, I'm doubling down.
But this is like, honestly, from a wrestling perspective, this is perfect because they're setting him up to be a heel. Like, this is awesome. Like it's crossing the boundaries between like, is this real or is it not real? Like, and I always love that about wrestling. So I don't know. What do you think about Logan Paul, man? Overall, in general,
you already know how I feel. I feel he gonna smoke that wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's very transcendent-esque in his. I feel like he can be one of the ones.
I think so too. His in-ring ability is nuts, and again, I think the thing from here is just building his persona, and
which I don't think he needs necessarily, because he already has an online persona.
Yeah, exactly. But I think using his personal persona to push his wrestling career should really be the move, because people already dislike him, and he can use that to his advantage in wrestling, because we see heels get crazy reactions. If you watch SmackDown earlier this week, Dominic Mysterio came out and he got almost booed out of the arena. He couldn't even talk on the mic. Like, he had to wait a couple seconds before the crowd stopped booing. And I think that's the kind of heat Logan can get if he really tries. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Just thought we'd talk about that real quick, but I think it's time we move on to another segment, man.
Yeah.
I think we got another segment coming up.
Getting up into music. There's a bunch of new music coming out this week, but the song I wanted to talk about before we get to put you on, Drake got a new track coming out, and I thought the song was very mid. I feel like Drake could have done a lot better with this song. It's called Search and Rescue. Yep. You've probably been hearing it a lot on TikTok. It's like very much a TikTok trending sound, I've noticed.
Leaked a couple days before, or I guess...
Can we stop calling it leaked? Like, Drake always does this with songs. Like, he put it out before it officially came out just to get the buzz around it. Like, and it has a Kim Kardashian sample, and it has a Kim Kardashian reference in the cover, And for those who are listening and thought we were over the Drake and Kanye beef, well, I'm letting you know right now, this is not done.
Listen, guys, we tried to come into this episode and say we're not going to talk about Drake, but he keeps making us talk about him. He's antagonizing Kanye West.
Well, we did Kanye Defenders. That's so sick.
Oh man,
that's so sick.
I don't know if that's the guy we want to be defending.
Nah.
But no, I mean,
I know somebody had to take Kanye's phone away.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I already knew he was typing like a 5,000 draft.
He went, "What the fuck? Did you hear that new Drake song, Kanye? Relax."
I know he was doing. So we ain't heard nothing from him in the past. What is it? Month and a half, 2 months. He's been doing so well. And I think Drake knows what he be doing. Drake knows what he be doing, man. And I'm glad whoever's around Kanye for now. We'll see. Whoever knows. By the time this episode comes out, maybe Kanye will actually have gone and responded to what the Drake song.
But scorched ground policy, man. He might go do some crazy shit. I don't know if it can get any crazier than revealing he has an illegitimate son.
Yeah.
Push a T shout out.
Stupid.
Wait, he said, "You are hiding a child. Let that boy come home."
We need to revisit that beef one day.
Honestly, a beef history would be a really cool segment on this show. If y'all want to see a beef history, I think that would be kind of cool to talk about.
Because we don't know none of these gentlemen, and it's all in playful fun.
Yeah,
for us at least. Them niggas probably not, but I don't give a fuck.
But yeah, sticking with the music, I guess we can move on to Put You On, because there's some music that came out this week that I'm sure you want to talk about. I want to talk about. So let's get right into it, man.
Let us put you on.
You want to start with music?
I started last week. That's
you want me to start? Okay.
Yeah, you start with music.
I'm gonna go with. I did hip hop last week. I'm going to do some rock, switch it up again. I'm going to do... man, this is actually tough because I've been listening to a few, but I think I'm going to go with Collide with the Sky by Pierce the Veil. Really good album. I actually just recently got into them, but if you're a fan of rock music, kind of emo rock music, that's definitely up your alley. I think there's some really good songs. Bulls in the Bronx and... King for a Day are two of my favorites, but the whole album's really good. So if you're into rock music, check that out. But Ethan, without further ado, you take it, man, because I feel like we're probably gonna talk about this album for a couple minutes. Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because I know this one. Like I don't know if you listened to it in full or not, but I know last night we definitely listened to it. Daniel Caesar came out with a new project. It's been how many years? 4 years.
Has it really been 4 years?
Yeah, let me pull it up right now. But I'm like 90% sure it's been like 4 years since Daniel Caesar's last project. Because his newest project, Never Enough, just came out. And it's been, 4 years.
Wow.
And Never Enough just came out.
Case Study was in 2019. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
And I kid you not, this album is fantastic. He was in the lab cooking with this one. Some of my favorite tracks off this Daniel Caesar project gotta be... Toronto 2014 with Mustafa, Let Me Go, Always, Buyer's Remorse with Amar Apollo. I struggle with that. And Homosexual with Ty Dolla $ign. I feel like he absolutely smoked this album. There's like 3 more songs I can think about. Like I very much think this has been one of the better R&B albums to come out in the last like 3-4 years. I really do believe that this album is like really, really good.
Yeah. Well, I haven't listened to the whole album, but like you said, we were listening to it last night, and every song I was like, "Damn, this is really good."
It gets better.
Every song was getting better and better. And with every listen, like you're probably saying, it's gonna get better and better. But I'm just really glad to see Daniel Caesar back. This album is very good. And yeah, man, our R&B is in a good place right now. I think with Daniel Caesar, we need Frank Ocean to drop because Dylan is speaking blasphemous.
Well, Coachella is like in the next week or two.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, that might be what we give next week on next week's episode. Yeah, next week's episode, we're going to give our Frank Ocean Coachella predictions. Yeah, okay. That's what we'll do next week. But sticking on Daniel Caesar, honestly, you can tell the quality. Like, this is quality R&B music.
Yeah.
Like, I know last year we had the Brent Faiyaz drop, and I know it got mixed reactions only because of how hyped it was, and I know people hate pinning musicians against each other, and I understand very much so. But fuck that, I'm gonna do it anyways because I want to. Yeah, this is very much, I think, a way better project
than Wasteland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's like I know Jarris is listening right now, and Jarris hates when I compare shit, and I'm doing this just for him, just because he's a big Wasteland fan. And I thought Wasteland was cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I liked it, but Daniel Caesar really smoked. Like, I really think this is like one of the best R&B projects I've heard. I think, oh, you're gonna make me say it. I think this is the best R&B. I think Daniel Caesar, Never Enough, is the best R&B project since SZA Control. That's how good I feel about this.
That's bold, man.
And I'm telling you, bro, I've loved
Brent. I mean, there are a lot of really crazy R&B
I think in like
artists.
a year, I know it's only been a week, man, and we use the C word a lot. But, this album is so good, bro. Like, this album by Daniel Caesar is so good. I think this is his best album. I really do think this is his best album.
You think it's better than Freudian, too?
Freudian? Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I love that album too, but I'll have to re-listen to it a little bit more. Like I said, off initial listen, I was blown away. I love Daniel Caesar, so I'm definitely gonna check it out. Y'all should definitely check it out too, especially if you're into R&B music. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add about this album, man?
No. Look, I think I can't do it justice speaking on it, man. Go listen to that shit. Put you on. Let me put you on.
All right, so next we'll go back on to our movies and TV shows segment of Put You On. You want me to go first on this too?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am gonna do a show that we've actually been watching the past couple days. I'm gonna do Arrested Development with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, David Cross. The cast is really good for the show. Michael Cera's in it. It hasn't finished all the way. They canceled the show after a couple seasons, but the first 3 seasons are peak comedy television. The writing is hilarious, and just seeing all the crazy hijinks they get into is awesome. So if you're into sitcoms, that's definitely one up your alley. Thoughts on Arrested Development before you give yours?
Arrested Development is funny, man. I like it.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad pick. Every time I come down here, I really watch it with you for the most part, but I do like it. I do. All
right. What about you, E? What are you watching, man? What are you?
The movie. I'm gonna do a movie trilogy because I've been watching it, and a very underrated movie trilogy that I don't think gets nearly the respect that it deserves, and it's in the higher level of trilogies, and that's got to be the Planet of the Apes trilogy. The 2010s one, like not the original one, the new one, newish one. Fantastic. Like, it's damn near flawless how good that movie that trilogy is.
So I've only seen the first one. I've never seen
it gets better. Every single one of them gets better.
Wow.
By a lot too. Like, and I think the first one's fantastic, but in general, Planet of the Apes, very, very, very fucking good.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. We got Planet of the Apes trilogy, Arrested Development for your media recommendations, and for music, go check out Daniel Caesar and go check out Pierce the Veil. I think that's pretty much it for that segment, and we're running out of time. But before we go, we got to talk some sports. Sports. Last week we talked about WWE, but now we're into some very important time in the NBA. It is, as we record this, the first night of the play-in. We are watching the 7 and the 8 seeds. We just saw Miami lose. And we're about to see the Timberwolves and the Lakers play to see who will take on the 2-seeded. Is it the Memphis Grizzlies? The Grizzlies are in 2 right now? Yeah, let me check the standings.
Yeah, Memphis is in 2.
Yeah, Memphis is at 2. Yeah, Memphis is at 2. So the winner of this game will play Memphis, and then we'll figure out what else happens. But I'm sure we won't stick on the play-in very long. I don't think any of these teams are really going to make an impact. If I had to guess...
The Lakers, I think, are.
I was going to say, if I had to guess of any of the 4 play-in teams, LA's the most likely to make noise.
Because none of the Eastern... Let's keep it a sec. None of the Eastern Conference play-in teams are going to do it.
Not at all. Atlanta's going to get completely fucking destroyed by Boston in the first series. And then whoever ends up playing Milwaukee is just going to get swept. But overall, man, what did you think about this season? I guess we'll do some Do you want to do like awards? Like who would you give awards to this season?
And I guess we can do awards because by the time this will come out, I'm not against it. We'll do awards before we do a playoff prediction.
Okay. Yeah.
So honestly, I'm very much a fan of consistency and making sure things are fair. Even though I believe this is Jokic's best year, I think I don't know how you can watch the NBA this year and think that it hasn't been Jokic's best year. And I know it's a regular season award, but let's keep it a stack. We don't consider it we don't give it as a regular season award. I think it's Embiid's time, man. He doesn't have one. Come 2 second place finishes last year. Let's give him his, man. Either him or Giannis. I'm not mad at either one, but I'm leaning towards Embiid.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like right now as we record this. Some of the votes have been leaked, and I think Joel Embiid is coming in first place right now. And
even though I hated the fact that he basically cried all second half of the year about it.
Yeah, and the thing that I thought was honestly going to lose it for him was when they played the Nuggets and he didn't, and he sat out.
Oh, and he was ducking the smoke?
Yeah. So I'm actually surprised to see that he's like becoming the favorite. But I have no problem with it. I think Embiid's had a great year. I think Giannis has had a great year. And like you said, this is Jokic's, statistically, his best year. And the Nuggets are the 1 seed in the West. So I do find it kind of hard not to give it to him, but I also understand voter fatigue where he would be the first, or would he be the first or the second 3 times straight?
He's the first guy since Jordan to do 3-peat.
First one since Jordan, okay.
And let's be honest, he is not the best
He's
player.
not, yeah.
Bron never 3-peated. Shaq never
Kobe never 3-peated.
Shaq never 3-peated. And I love Jokic, and I think he can get into the top 25 all-time tier, but he's not there yet. Nor has he earned the right to 3-peat yet.
Yeah, and plus when I think a big argument that comes into this is like, yes, Jokic is one of the most efficient and best offensive basketball players in the league. But
and I know this is a regular season award. I'm with y'all, right? But when you get an award 3 times in a row, it is not a regular season award. Let's just keep it a stack. That's not what this is.
Yeah, but just continue on. I think like something that you can look at and make arguments for Embiid and Giannis is they're both much better defenders than Jokic, and their teams aren't that far off from what the Nuggets are doing. Obviously, we talked about the Nuggets being the first seed. The Bucks are in the same spot, first seed in the East, and the 76ers are only 4 games behind them in the 3rd seed in the East. So, again, I don't have a problem with any of these guys winning it. I think it would be nice to see Embiid win it just because he's finished second these last
think
couple
about
years.
3 second-year finishes. That changes legacies, man.
Yeah.
Like one of those that puts Embiid top 50 all time. Do I think Embiid's a top 50 player all time? No. Do I think even Embiid's a top 3 player in the league? No, I don't think he is. 4, really? Nah, not really. But like I feel like he's probably deserved one, especially for his regular season the past 3 years. At least one. Yeah. You know? But
I agree. I mean, if I had to pick, I personally would say Embiid or Giannis, but again, I'm not mad at any of them. Let's move on to another one that's been really highly discussed. Defensive Player of the Year, man. I know we talked a little bit about it last night because we saw the tweet with the first place votes. We saw Evan Mobley and Draymond Green receive more votes than Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brook Lopez. And in my opinion, that's kind of crazy because I think Jaren Jackson should be the shoo-in for Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm with you. I don't disagree at all. I think Jaren Jackson been very good this year, especially the caliber player he is. Draymond's Draymond, I get it. But I think that's less to do with like Draymond actually deserving it and more from the fact that people don't. I feel like people don't give a fuck about Defensive Player of the Year anymore. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with Rudy Gobert winning 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But I do think Brook Lopez deserves a good shot because I think he's been a monster this year. But I do think it's Triple J for sure. Yeah,
and I mean the thing is, I'm not mad at the Mobley votes. Obviously, Draymond is Draymond, like you said. I'm not mad at the Mobley votes. I'm kind of surprised Brook Lopez didn't get any votes either because I think halfway through the season he was kind of the favorite to win it until Jaren Jackson came back from his injury and he was playing at a super high level. Brook Lopez was blocking shots, closing out on defenders, and was probably the best defensive big man in the league for the first half of the season. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, just kind of interesting. Like you said, the value of the Defensive Player of the Year award kind of just feels weird now since Gobert won 3 straight. But I don't know, maybe they can reinvigorate the award.
Maybe.
Maybe. One of these days. All right. I think the last major award that we could cover is Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's much of a discussion. I think it's pretty unanimous. Paolo Banchero is the favorite.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we'll move on from that. Obviously, I think everyone thinks Paolo is the favorite, but just to broaden the discussion a little bit, who are some rookies that surprised you that we should talk about? I want to give some shine to.
For me, it's gotta be. I'm gonna ride with my guy Walker Kessler, man. The white Rudy Gobert.
The white Rudy Gobert.
The white Rudy Gobert, man. Who knew that they would win that trade that badly and replace Gobert in the first year? But Walker Kessler has been a godsend for them.
Yeah.
Him and Laurie Marketing work really well in the front court together. A very promising front court duo that they can have.
Yeah. Walker Kessler's a guy who can help any team, I feel like. And again, like Utah, when they traded Rudy Gobert, we thought they were going to be bottom feeders in the West, but they were a lot better than expected, and I think Walker Kessler was a big part of that. So I'm not mad at you for that pick. I'm going to be a little bit of a homer. I'm going to say Jeremy Sohan. I think Jeremy has shocked a lot of people. But I'm also Devin Glass. This one's for you.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to go with Jabari Smith, too. I think people were way too hard on him. The first half of the season was really bad for him. But he started to pick it up in the second half of the season. And the Rockets are in a pretty bad spot right now.
I think he'll be better once he gets a point guard.
Yeah.
And for all you Rockets, I hope y'all are ready not to see KPJ in the uniform.
Oh man, let's get Rockets Twitter on this video.
I'm gonna miss those days when they was going off on KPJ, man. Oh, the good old days.
The good old days.
But I think Jabari Smith Jr. has been very mid the entire year. Another guy too that we didn't talk about, Benedict Mathurin, a very
dog.
Yep, very good player. He's gonna be a good player for Indiana for the foreseeable future. Like they got a young squad, so I think he was a home run pick for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, really exciting rookie class. We didn't even get to see Chet Holmgren play this year.
I know he's gonna play next year for OKC. Another guy too, Jalen Williams, had a great year.
Yep.
For OKC. Oh, OKC.
He was a steal. Yeah.
He's gonna be so tough for OKC next year.
All right, well, I think that covers it for the major awards. Covered six-man, MVP, defensive player, or not six-man, defensive player of the year, MVP, and rookie of the year. But now let's get into our picks for the first round of the NBA playoffs. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. We got the Milwaukee Bucks as the 1 seed. We don't know who they'll play yet, but it'll be either the Miami Heat, Toronto Raptors, or the Chicago Bulls. E, who do you got?
I think the Bucks are going to end up playing the Bulls. I think the Bulls are going to win 2 in a row. It's not going to matter, though, unfortunately, because I don't think any one of the playing games are going to have a shot to win any of their series.
Especially in the East.
Especially in the East. I think the Bucks are going to sweep the Bulls. I think the Celtics are going to sweep the Hawks. I think the Sixers are going to beat the Nets in 5. I think the most entertaining series, not just only in the East, but in the entire entire NBA playoffs, is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers against the New York Knicks. And, man, it's going to be, even though I think the Cleveland Cavaliers have the best player in Donovan Mitchell, and believe me, Cleveland's a lot better team because of it. Man, I'm going to be a Knick. I'm going to give the Knicks, man, some love. I think JB really has helped the Knicks so much this season.
Yeah.
The fit he's had with Julius, quickly, Obi, even though RJ had a down year and maybe has solidified himself as a bust pick to some people, I do think that the Knicks are going to win in 7.
Yeah, they were really missing big point guard, like true point guard play, and we'll get back to that series. I'll go quickly through my predictions. I think you nailed it pretty spot on. Bucks, Celtics, probably going to win, regardless of who they play in 4, 5. I don't really see either of those series going very far. Then we've got the 76ers and the Nets. Now, see, I think this one's going to be a little more interesting. I'm still going to take the 76ers. I think the Nets have been a lot better than people have given them credit for since the Kevin Durant trade. Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges has been amazing since he left Phoenix. So don't sleep on the Nets, but give me Philly in 6. And then, like you said, I think the Cavs-Knicks series is going to be by far the most fun. You pick the Knicks. I'm going to go with the Cavs in 7. I think Donovan Mitchell is the best player on either one of the teams, and he needs to enact some revenge on Jalen Brunson for last year's Western Conference playoffs.
Well, speaking about the Western Conference, let's move to the West.
Yeah.
We got the Lakers, the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, and the Thunder in the first round, or in the playing game. I'm going to pick the Nuggets over the Pelicans in 5. If the Pelicans had Zion, maybe they'd have a much better chance. But I'm gonna pick the Nuggets in 5. The Grizzlies are gonna beat the Lakers in 7. I think the Lakers. I would say I've been wrong about my Lakers, especially the second half of the year.
Your Lakers.
Oh, I'm not doing this with you today.
Okay.
I'm not doing this with you.
He's a Mavericks fan.
I'm a Lakers fan too.
Kobe Bryant fan.
I'm a Lakers fan and a Mavericks fan. Okay. I'm gonna pick the Grizzlies in 7 though. I think for the Lakers to really have a shot to be contenders, I think Anthony Davis needs to be the best player in a championship team, and I don't think his availability would allow him to do that. Plus, I don't think Anthony Davis can give me 6 straight games of 30 and 15, which I think it'll take to beat a team like Memphis.
Yeah.
Because I think Memphis is a true contender.
Yeah.
And I love LeBron. I think the Lakers are going to be still a good. They're still a good team. Like I could admit when I was wrong, but I think it's not going to be enough for Memphis. So I'm going to pick Memphis in 7. The Kings, the highlight of I think the NBA season, the feel good story of the year. I can comfortably say that I was right on picking them as my dark horse for this year. Light the beam, everything like that. De'Aaron, Sabonis, great combo together. This is where that dream dies against the Golden State Warriors.
All right.
Yeah, I've learned very much not to bet against Golden State, especially when they're all healthy. And I am going to give them a game, though. I think the Kings are going to win in 5 against Golden State. Actually, I think they're going to win in... I think the Golden State's going to win in 6 against the Kings. If Wiggins plays, I think it's going to be done in 5. But even though Golden State is horrendous on the road, I think they'll win 1 game at least. But, yeah, no. And then Suns against Clippers. I think if Paul George was there, he's going to miss the first game at least. I think it'd be a different story. Not necessarily a different story. I think it'd be they could definitely give Phoenix a run for their money, but I do think Phoenix is my favorite for the finals in general. Yeah. I think Phoenix is going to beat the Clippers in 5.
All right. I feel pretty similarly about the 1 and 2 seeds. I think regardless of who Denver plays in the first round, unless the Lakers somehow fall to the 8th seed, I think the Nuggets will win in 4 or 5. It's looking like the Grizzlies will take on the Lakers as we watch this. I have a feeling the Lakers are going to beat the Timberwolves tonight. That Grizzlies-Lakers series is going to be interesting. I think they go to 6 or 7 too. You really can't count out a team with LeBron and AD, but give me the Grizzlies here. Then we've got the Kings and the Warriors. Man, I'm going with it. Light the beam. I'm going Sacramento in 7 over the Warriors. And like you said earlier, I think Golden State is suffering from being really bad on the road. And defensively, they just have not been as good as they normally are. So give me Sacramento in 7. Really loving De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, too. They're just a lot of fun. And finally, the Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers. I think you and me feel pretty similarly about the Clippers. They're one of those teams that everyone has been talking about as a Western Conference powerhouse since Kawhi and Paul George have gotten there, but it's never really amounted to anything. And until that changes, I'm not putting any faith in them. Give me Phoenix in 6. It's going to be a tough 6, but I think Phoenix will walk away victorious in that series. I feel kind of bad because I just picked all the higher seeds to win, but that's just the way I'm looking at it right now. But yeah, that's going to be it for our NBA first round predictions. If you want to see more predictions, we will be back with another episode next week and talk a little bit about what happened in the play-in, recap the first round, and get into more predictions. If you like the sports content in general, make sure y'all subscribe, like the video, make sure you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. We're out there, TikTok.
At AWR_podcast. At Are We Recording on YouTube. But yeah, make sure to follow us, like and subscribe.
If you're into music, we've got Vinyl Days coming out every Wednesday, and we've got movie reviews coming out with Dylan and Xavier on Fridays. So make sure y'all check those out too. They're putting in a lot of work on those. And yeah, I think that's it for another episode of Our Recording. Is there anything you want to leave the viewers with?
Man, share this podcast with somebody, man.
Yeah.
Share it with a friend.
Share it with a lover.
Share it with a lover's lover.
Share it with a lover's goldfish.
Come on, man. Spread the wealth.
Maybe. Just share the love. If you like this episode, share it with a friend. That's all we're trying to say. But anyway, it's been the Young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton. I'm 007 Gage Sutton. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see y'all next week.